Hi all. Today we are going to discuss G Mains paper, January 8th conducted evening shift paper. Right? Welcome all. Again, Divyaran sir from Professor P.C. Thomas classes, Thrissur, Kerala. Right? Can we start? The first question. The major product in the following reaction is, you are given with a cyclopropene keto compound with a methyl substituent treated with the acid medium. What is the major product? See, the concept of question is aromatic stability of the product. Aromatic stability of the product. And you can easily answer, it is option D, because that is an aromatically stabilized molecule. You see that it is getting protonated. It is getting protonated over here. This area is getting protonated. The oxygen is getting protonated, and thereby you can find a positive charge coming on that carbon in the cyclic ring. And I am sure you have learnt and you are aware of a species like this. It is aromatic. Cyclic propylium cation is aromatic with a 2-electron system according to Huckel's rule. So no other molecule comes to the stability of that system, which is aromatic stabilized. Okay. Next question. Among the reactions A to D, the reaction that does not occur, in the blast furnace during extraction of iron. A textbook question only. You refer to the iron extraction reactions of blast furnace. So many reactions with the temperature range. It is referred in the textbook, and you can find first one, that is slag formation. So that reaction you can find there. Second one, that is the major reaction happening in the reduction zone. Reduction using carbon monoxide, where you get the conversion done. And next one, iron, this is not there, and this is not at all related to, and it is only A and B which are a part of reaction in blast furnace. A and B are a part of reaction in the blast furnace. Right? Where you can find the first one, silica converted to calcium oxide with the silica. This is acting as a flux and is converted to slagging process. Hematite with the carbon monoxide converted to Fe3O4. From there it goes to the major reduction zone there. While these two reactions are not involved, and they are asking not occur, does not occur. The answer is C and D. Option C is the correct answer based on a textbook factual question. Next one. Hydrogen has 3 isotopes A, B, C. You know what are the isotopes of hydrogen? Protium, deuterium, tritium. The number of neutrons in A, B, C respectively X, Y, Z. The sum of X, Y, Z. So the point is the sum of neutrons in the isotopes of hydrogen. Protium, no neutrons. Deuterium, 1 neutron. Tritium, 2 neutron. So it is 2 plus 1, 3. Option A. Direct question only. Next one. Assertion, recent type question. Assertion given. For hydrogenation reaction, catalytic activity increases from group 5 to 11 metals with the maximum activity shown by 7 to 9 elements. A textbook statement. Where it is given in the catalyst area, surface chemistry. Heterogeneous catalysis. Clearly mentioned there regarding the high catalytic activity of group 5 to 11 and maximum activity shown by 7 to 9 elements. So assertion is a true statement. The reactants are most strongly absorbed on group 7 to 9. That is a wrong statement. 7 to 9 most strongly or maximum absorbed, because we can never forget about palladium coming in group 10. Palladium, which has got a very high absorption tendency, it is coming in group 10. So that statement is wrong. So this statement is wrong, and the correct answer is option A. Assertion true, but reason is false. Assertion is a true statement, reason is a false statement. Right? To identify the false statement in the reason, you can just think about palladium. Palladium comes in the 10th group. Next question. Two monomers in maltose. Maltose structure is given in the textbook, and you know that sucrose, maltose, lactose. The detailed structural identity explained in the textbook. Maltose contain option D, alpha D glucose and alpha D glucose. 2 alpha D glucose makes maltose. Right? Next. Preparation of bakelite proceeds via reaction. Preparation of bakelite proceeds via reaction. See, bakelite is phenol formaldehyde resin. Bakelite is phenol formaldehyde resin. This is phenol interacting with the HCHO, that is a electrophilic substitution reaction. So you get methyl phenols. You get OH here. Phenyl methanol is obtained, and this CH2OH group, it may come here also, it may come here also, and now these two CH2OH groups, when condensing means as a part of dehydration process, it makes a linear chain that is so called Novolac. And if it makes a cross-linking, it can make a cross-linking over here, it can make a linear chain over this region, that is Novolac. If it is making a cross-linking, you know, that is called a bakelite, one of the oldest plastic known after Bakeland. So the answer is electrophilic addition, condensation. It is option C. Electrophilic substitution followed by dehydration process. Electrophilic substitution followed by dehydration. Basically it is condensation. Condensation polymerization involves removal of water or small molecules like that. Right? Option C is the correct answer. Next. The radius of second Bohr orbit in terms of Bohr radius A0 in Li2 plus. You know the relation. Rn is equal to A0 n square by Z. So here it is second Bohr orbit for lithium 2 plus. So it is R2 for lithium 2 plus. It will be A0 into 2 square divided by atomic number 3. That takes you to the answer. Option C. 4A0 by 3. 4A0 by 3. A simple question. Next one. A metal A on heating in nitrogen gas gives compound B. B on treatment with water gives a colorless gas, which when passing through copper sulfate solution gives a dark blue violet colored solution. A and B respectively are. So metal A react with elemental nitrogen. See, metal A react with the nitrogen gas. Sodium cannot react with the nitrogen gas. Sodium cannot react with the nitrogen gas. Delete option A and B, as it is not the answer, because sodium cannot react. Among the alkali metal, lithium can react. Lithium can directly react with the nitrogen, not sodium. So two choices are out. Now it is option C or D. It is option C, the correct answer. Magnesium, when burns with the nitrogen, you get magnesium nitrate. And magnesium nitrate, upon hydrolysis, you get magnesium hydroxide plus ammonia. And this ammonia interact with the copper sulfate solution, and you get a deep blue colored cupramonium complex. CuNS3 4 times SO4. You get cupramonium sulfate, deep blue colored solution. The so-called Schweizer's reagent. Schweizer's reagent. Cupramonium complex is obtained. This is deep blue colored in nature, also known as Schweizer's reagent. So the correct answer is option C. Next one. Among A to D, the complexes that can display geometrical isomerism. Geometrical isomerism. This is 3 ammonia and 1 chlorine. You know it cannot. 1 ammonia and 5 chlorine. It cannot. It is 2 ammonia, 1 chlorine and nitro. Definitely it can show. It can show. Platinum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, 2 ammonia. Sorry, it is not octahedral, it is square planar. Only 4 ligands, no? 2 ammonia, 1 chlorine, 1 nitro. So, 2 ammonia, A4 ammonia, and 1 chlorine, 1 nitro, NO2. This can make an interchange, and you can get cis and trans. It is possible to give geometrical isomerism, cis and trans. It is square planar of the type Ma2Bc. Ma2Bc, it is able to give you cis and trans. Now it is cis, you can make ammonia in the opposite side to get trans. Now here, this is octahedral complex. This is octahedral complex that also can give you. There are 4 ammonia, 1 chlorine, 1 bromine. So it is ammonia 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 chlorine, 1 bromine. Now chlorine and bromine are close position. You may get different arrangements. There is geometrical isomerism possible. So C and D, geometrical isomerism is possible. C is Ma2Bc type and D is Ma4Bc type. While A and B, geometrical isomerism is not possible. The correct answer is option C, C and D. Next. Consider the following plots of rate constant versus 1 by T for 4 different reactions. Which of the following order is correct for activation energy of this reaction? You know, log K versus 1 by T. The Arrhenius equation, K is equal to A e raised to minus EA by RT. That means log K is equal to log A minus EA by 2.303 RT. Now, this is taken along y-axis. This is taken along y-axis and 1 by T taken along x-axis. This is taken along x-axis. So, this will give you slope. So, slope of the line gives a negative slope. Slope is equal to EA by 2.303R. Slope is equal to minus EA by 2.303R. It is indicating a negative slope, and slope indicating a direct relation with the EA. Greater the slope, greater the activation energy. Greater the slope, greater the activation energy. So, activation energy maximum with the, it is easy to identify which is having greater slope. The C has got a greater slope. It is like this. So, C is maximum. C is, isn't it? This is A, this is C, this is D, this is B. So it has to be C, A, D, B. C, A, D, B. This is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. C, A, D, B. C is maximum slope. Then comes A. Then comes D, and B is the slope is minimum. So it is C, A, D, B. C, A, D, B will be the correct order. Greater the point is very simple. Greater the slope, greater the activation energy. Because slope is coming on that data. Activation energy is coming on slope data. Okay. Next question. The major product B in the following sequence of reaction is. Major product B in the following sequence of reaction is. So the compound is given, treated with the diborane, hydrogen peroxide, OH minus. So it is a hydroboration oxidation reaction. Hydroboration oxidation reaction. And the product obtained will be somewhat against the Marconic of product. So the product will be CH3, CH3, CH3. See, here comes hydrogen and here comes OH. This is the product. The product seems to be somewhat against Marconi of product, right? So it will be OH coming on this carbon. Now, it is heated with the dilute sulfuric acid. This is heated with the dilute sulfuric acid. See, this OH will be eliminated. This OH will be eliminated and you get a carbocation. This OH is getting protonated first. So you get a protonated alcohol and upon removing you get a carbocation. You get CH3, CH, CH, methyl group, CH plus, CH2, CH3. Now it will go for a rearrangement. This hydrogen is shifted to this and it is a rearrangement process, carbocation rearrangement. You get CH3, C plus, C, the 2 methyl group, CH, CH2, CH2, CH3. Now the beta hydrogen is eliminated. Beta hydrogen is eliminated means this hydrogen will be eliminated. This hydrogen will be eliminated and you get a double bond over here to get the final result. There will be a double bond between these two carbon atoms and the result is option B. You get the most stable Seychef product. You get the most stable Seychef product. As you can find, there is a methyl group here and there is a methyl group here. So CC double bond will appear and that gives you the most stable Seychef product. Right? Next question. The correct order of calculated spin only magnetic moment for the complexes. See, this is sp3 hybridized and magnetic moment is equal to 0. That is diamagnetic. While nickel, you can examine, it is nickel 2 plus, it will go for 2 unpaired electron and magnetic moment is equal to some 2.83 something. There are 2 unpaired electron, n equal to 2. While here, this is third one. This is again a square planar complex. This is a square planar complex which is DsP2 hybridization. It is again nickel 2 plus, DsP2 hybridization. There will be pairing occurring due to strong ligand. That again is diamagnetic, mu is equal to 0. PdCl2 is also square planar complex. This is also a square planar complex. That means DsP2 hybridization. Here also it is making DsP2 hybridization, square planar complex. So here the dipole moment is 0, diamagnetic complex, sp3 hybridization. Here it is nickel 2 plus, there will be 2 unpaired electron, sp3 D2 hybridization. This is D2 sp3 hybridization, this is also DsP2 hybridization. So this and this both are square planar and makes DsP2 hybridization and both will have mu is equal to 0. Palladium unit is D10S2 configuration. So the magnetic moment will be 0. So the answer could be B maximum. While ACD coming almost the same, B is maximum, option D will be the answer. So this is a tetrahedral complex, this is octahedral complex, this is square planar complex and this is also square planar complex, right? Next, arrange the following bonds according to their average bond energies in the descending order. That's a fundamental point of information. The bond energy decreases as you come from fluoride to iodide. Bond energy decreases as you come from fluoride to iodide. So the answer is option A, CF maximum, then chloride, bromide, iodide. and you know that way the leaving group also coming. Iodides are better leaving group, right? Next question. Geldal method cannot be used to estimate nitrogen for which of the following compounds? You know, Geldal method is not applicable for certain compounds from which you can't get quantitative conversion of nitrogen. You need to get quantitatively nitrogen converted to what form? Ammonia, right? You have to get converted to ammonia. First of all, heated with the sulfuric acid, nitrogen component is converted to ammonium sulfate. Ammonium sulfate digested with alkali, you get the ammonia. So that must be done. Certain organic compounds like nitro compounds, like azo compounds, like nitrogen coming in the ring, pyridine like compounds, you can't get a quantitative conversion of nitrogen to ammonium sulfate, from there to ammonia. And the answer is option C. Nitrobenzene, nitro compounds, you can't get a quantitative conversion of nitrogen to ammonium sulfate. That is the answer. Next one. Are among the compounds A, B with the molecular formula C9H18O3, A having higher boiling point than B? A having higher boiling point than B. Possible structures are option A itself is correct, because A is alcohol group and B is ether linkage. You know, alcohols are having higher boiling point than ethers, and that is the answer. While option B, A is ether and the other is alcohol, so that is not the answer. So A is the correct answer. Now coming to C, both are alcohol, but don't you see this is having a greater molecular mass? B is having greater molecular mass. So as the molecular mass increases, definitely the boiling point will increase. So B will have higher value. It must be A greater than B. And D definitely not. It is ether and alcohol. So the answer is option A, where A is alcohol groups while B is ether linkage. There can be a confusion for option C, but no doubt about it, because in option B both are alcohols, but B having greater molecular mass. As the molecular mass increases, boiling point increases. Okay, next question. For the following assertion and reason, the correct option is pH of water increases with the increase of temperature. See, when the temperature increases, the pH scale changes. At ordinary temperature, standard temperature, pH scale is from 0 to 14 and 7 is the neutral point. This is because Kw is equal to 10 power minus 40 at 298 Kelvin, or a standard temperature. It is Kw is equal to 10 power minus 40. Suppose we are going to higher temperature, as said, pH of water increases with increase in temperature. Suppose the temperature increases. When the temperature increases, ionization of water increases, Kw increases. Suppose at a higher temperature, Kw increases, let it be 10 power minus 12, a higher value, then the scale will change. It becomes 0 to 12 and the neutral point is 6. So pH of water increases with increase in temperature. Wrong. The pH of water is 7 at a particular temperature and pH of water becomes, say, 6. Say for example 6 when the temperature increased. When the temperature increases, Kw value increases and the range of pH decreases and the neutral point decreases. Suppose the temperature is decreasing, Kw value will decrease. Suppose at a low temperature, suppose you are taking a low temperature where the Kw value is 10 power minus 18, just imagine, or minus 16, the pH scale will change 0 to 16 and now the neutral point is 8. So when the temperature decreases, Kw value will decrease, pH range will increase, the neutral point will change. I think it is clear. So when the temperature becomes high, Kw value becomes increasing, the pH range decreases, neutral point decreases, and actually this statement is wrong, assertion is wrong. Now, the dissociation of water into H plus and OH minus is exothermic. How can a dissociation be exothermic? Dissociation, H and OH breaking, it is endothermic process. So that too is wrong. So both assertion and reason are wrong. Both assertion and reason are wrong. So the correct answer is option B. Both assertion and reason, both are wrong. Next question. Which of the following compounds is likely to show both Frenkel and Schottky defect in crystalline form? A textbook question. It is AgBr. AgBr cation anionic size is almost in the marginal range. It can show both Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. Textbook question. Next. White phosphorus on reaction with the concentrated NaOH solution in an inert atmosphere of carbon dioxide gives phosphine and the compound X. X on acidification with HCl gives compound Y. Basicity of the compound Y is, see, white phosphorus with the NaOH will give you phosphine, that is one compound, and NaH2PO2, sodium hypophosphite. So phosphine and sodium hypophosphate. The reaction given in the text is a disproportionation reaction. Disproportionation reaction. Phosphorus from zero is reduced to phosphine and oxidized to NaH2PO2. So X on acidification, see, it gives phosphine. Phosphine giving, it is commented. So this is X. X on acidification. X on acidification, you get H3PO2. What is the basicity of H3PO2? It is monobasic acid, hypophosphorus acid. This is hypophosphorus acid and the basicity is governed by the OH. That is H present with oxygen. That is governing the basicity. While these two hydrogen atoms are reducing hydrogen. These two hydrogen atoms are not acidic hydrogen. They are not labile hydrogen as it is directly connected to phosphorus. Acidic hydrogen is decided by this only. So the basicity is 1. You know that. Next. A unsaturated hydrocarbon X absorbs 2 hydrogen molecules on catalytic hydrogenation. Everybody absorbs 2 hydrogen because there are 2 bonds, and also gives following reaction. X ozonolysis, zinc and water, you get A with the silver, A with the ammoniacal silver nitrate, you get 3-oxohexane dicarboxylic acid. 3-oxohexane dicarboxylic acid is obtained. So what is the product? See, suppose you are taking option A. Suppose you are taking option A, treated for ozonolysis. See, ozonolysis product, easily you can identify. It is going to break here and the carbon here will be converted to formaldehyde, and it is going to break here. And this carbon will become a ketone. This carbon will become a ketone. This carbon will become an aldehyde. This carbon will become an aldehyde. And this carbon is removed as formaldehyde. And the product that you are going to get is CHO, CO, CHO. This is what you are going to get. Suppose, of course, this is going to react with ammoniacal silver nitrate, Tollens reagent. It is going to react with the Tollens reagent. You are going to get COOH. It is unaffecting that keto group, COOH. This is what you are going to get. My dear children, you please understand, this is not 3-oxo. This is 2-oxo. If you take option A, it is going to be 2-oxo the product. We want 3-oxo, and the answer could be option C hence. Suppose I am taking this molecule, just imagine, I am taking this molecule. There is CH2, there is like this. This is treated for ozonolysis. This is treated for ozonolysis. It's going to break here, and this carbon will become CHO, this carbon will become CHO. And it's going to break here. This carbon will become HCHO. That is not point of our discussion in this case. And this carbon will become CO. So what is the product you are going to get as a result of ozonolysis? You are going to get, this is CHO. Here you have O. and this is also CHO. Now this is treated with the Tollens reagent, ammoniacal silver nitrate solution. You will get, this is oxidized to carboxylic acid, aldehyde oxidized to carboxylic acid. You get COOH, and here there is a keto group, and this is COOH. Please watch. 1, 2, 3. It is 3-oxohexane dioic acid. 3-oxohexane dioic acid obtained when you take option C, and that is the correct answer. No other suitable molecule. Right? Next question. The increasing order of atomic radii of the following elements. Increasing order of atomic radii: carbon, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine. No doubt, bromine is maximum. E maximum. E maximum. All choices E maximum. Then D. E, D. So this is out. This is out. E, D. After bromine, it will be chlorine. Then we have carbon, oxygen, fluorine. They lie in same plane. Same line. Carbon, oxygen, fluorine. They are second period element in the same line. As you know, when you move from left to right, the size will decrease. So maximum will be carbon. So E, D, then A. E, D, A, B, C. Option C is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer according to the periodic trend. Right? Next question. In the following sequence of reactions, the maximum number of atoms present in the molecule carbon in one plane. You have A reacting with the red hot copper tube B. A is the lowest molecular weight alkyne. So A is given. It is ethine. A is ethine. Lowest molecular weight alkyne. Ethine. Ethine with red hot iron tube. Ethine with red hot iron tube or copper tube. You get benzene. Three molecules undergo cyclic trimerization, giving benzene. Now, benzene with CS3Cl anhydrous Friedel-Crafts alkylation. You get toluene. Now, what is our question? Maximum number of atoms present in one plane. Maximum number of atoms present in one plane. Please have a look at this. CS3 is, see how comes the maximum number of atoms in a one plane. It is C, H, CH3. Now you can find this atom, and this atom with hydrogen, this atom with hydrogen, this atom with hydrogen, this atom with hydrogen, and this atom with hydrogen. All are in the plane. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13 atoms will be in a plane. 6 carbon atom, 5 hydrogen atom. So 11, 12, 13. 13 atoms will be in one plane. I think it's clear. Next question. For an electrochemical cell, SN2 plus Pb2 plus Pb, the ratio SN2 plus by Pb2 plus when the cell attain equilibrium is, when the cell attain equilibrium, E becomes 0. When cell attain equilibrium, E cell is equal to 0. So E cell is equal to E0 cell minus 0.06 divided by n log the solution at the anode. So it is SN2 plus divided by solution at the cathode. It is Pb2 plus. This is the Nernst equation. My dear children, this becomes 0 because it is at equilibrium. Now what is this? This is equal to E0 cathode minus E0 anode. What is the cathode here? Lead is cathode. What is the value? Minus 0.13. So it is minus 0.13 minus anode. This one minus 0.14. So this value you can evaluate. Now what is n? N value, it is Sn2 Sn2 plus Pb2 plus 2Pb. So n is equal to 2. Now you need to get this. You need to get that. So this is equal to 0. So you can write 0 equal to minus 0.13 minus of minus 0.14. So it is 0.13 plus 0.14, 0.01. So it is plus 0.01 is equal to 0.06 by 2. Isn't it? Minus 0.06 by 2. So it is 0.03 log Sn2 plus divided by Pb2 plus. So thereby you get log Sn2 plus divided by Pb2 plus is equal to you get a 0.01 divided by 0.03, that means you get 1 by 3. Therefore Sn2 plus divided by Pb2 plus, that is equal to 10 raised to 1 by 3. 10 raised to 1 by 3 means somewhat 2 point something. You get the answer. 1 by 3 means log something is equal to 1 by 3. 1 by 3 means 0.33 something. So log something is 0.33 something. You know log 2 is 0.3. So 0.3333 something. So it will be somewhat higher than 2. So it is 2.15 you can calculate. Right? Next question. At a constant volume, 4 mole of an ideal gas when heated from 300 to 500 Kelvin changes its internal energy by 5000 joules. The molar heat capacity at constant volume is. So change in internal energy, you are known to delta U is equal to NCV delta T. Delta U is equal to NCV delta T. They are asking what is CV. Delta U given, N given, delta T given. So it is CV is equal to delta U divided by N delta T. So it is 5000 divided by 4 moles. N is equal to 4 mole into delta T. 500 to 300 to 500. So that is 200. You get your answer. Only in certain cases we find that getting the correct value, we need to have a better knowledge of log values and all, as we have seen in the previous case. We need to have a better knowledge of log value decimals, how it is coming. These are simple. Next. The complexes ML5 of metal, nickel, iron have ideal square pyramidal and trigonal bipyramidal geometries. The sum of 90 degree, 120 degree, 180 degree. So one is ideal square pyramidal. So it is 1. This is square pyramidal and trigonal bipyramidal. This is trigonal bipyramidal. We have to take an account of sum of 90 degree, 120 degree, 180 degree. Sum of 90 degree, 120 degree, 180 degree. Now you take the 90 degree. How many 90 degree? You can get 90 degree angle. It is 4 pertaining to the vertical bond and 4 in the plane. So there are 8 90 degree bond angles. 90 degree bond, there are 8 in this molecule. How 8? Pertaining to 1 vertical bond. See, 1 vertical bond pertaining to which and 4 in the plane. 90 degree made is 4 numbers. And within the plane, this is 90 degree. This angle is 90 degree. Right? Similarly, there are 4 in the plane. So it is 8. How it is 8? 4 plus 4. 4 due to vertical bond. making 90 degree with the plane, and 90 degree within the plane, 4. So 4 plus 4, 8 90 degree. And how many? 120. 120, here it is nil, no 120. And 180, this is 180, this is 180, there are 2. Now in this case, 90 degree will be, see, this will make 90 degree. So there are 3 on top and 3 at the bottom. So it is 3 plus 3, there are 6 90 degree. Vertical bond on top and bottom with the plane. It is 3 plus 3, 6 90 degree. Then how many 120? How many 120? 120, you know, it is this. There is 3 120. 3 120. And is there any 180? 180. Yes, there is 180. This is making 180. So there is 1. So it is 6 plus 3, 9 plus 1, 10. 10 plus 10, 20. There are 20 total comes. Right? I think it is clear. There are 90 on top and in the plane. 4 plus 4, 8 to 90 degree, 0 120 degree, and 180 degree. There are 2. One like this, one like this. Coming to here, 90 degree, 3 on top, 3 at bottom, 6. And 120 degree, 3 in the plane, equatorial plane. And 180 degree, this is 180 degree 1. So it is total coming out to be 20. Next question. NaClO3, that is the last question. NaClO3, sodium chloride, used even in spacecraft to produce O2. The daily consumption of pure O2 by a person is 492 liter at 1 atm and 300 Kelvin. How much amount of NaClO3 in grams is required to produce oxygen for daily consumption of a person at 1 atm 300 Kelvin? How much amount of NaClO3 in grams? So we need to get the amount of NaClO3 in grams. So we need to get mass of NaClO3, that is equal to number of moles of NaClO3 into molar mass. You can get the molar mass of NaClO3, you can easily find. So this is our answer. This is what we are looking for. That is equal to number of moles of NaClO3 into molar mass. Molar mass you can get. Now, how to get the number of moles of NaClO3? Number of moles of NaClO3 is equal to number of moles of oxygen. So this is equal to number of moles of oxygen. Now, how to get the number of moles of oxygen? It is equal to PV by RT, where pressure is given, volume is given, R you know, temperature is given. What is the pressure? 1 atm. Volume 492 liters. So this is 1 atm, 492 liters. R value you know, 0.0821, and temperature is given 300 Kelvin. So you get number of moles of oxygen. When you get the number of moles of oxygen, that is number of moles of NaClO3. Look at the stoichiometry. Number of moles of oxygen and number of moles of NaClO3 are same. Once you get that into molar mass, you get the mass of NaClO3, which may come around. You can work out that. You can easily work out that. So the calculation will be 1 into 492 divided by 0.0821 into 300 into molar mass of NaClO3. It is 23 plus 35.5 plus 48. 106.5. This definitely is going to take you to that range. You can easily get that answer, right? That's all from the G-Mains exam conducted on 8th. Here also, as the shift 1 paper, there are only 2-3 questions which is time consuming or which make you think doing. The other questions are of moderate or easy level. There are lot of easy level questions. Majority of questions are moderate level only. 2-3 questions which make you think and a bit of confusing, right? That's all from the discussion of G Mains exam conducted on 8th evening session, shift 2. Okay, bye.